All right, let's move on to Vols at Auburn, and this is the national game of the week, no doubt about it. Let me rip off a ton of stats. All right, so the Vols 17-2 straight up, 11-7-1 against the spread. They're ranked 6th at KenPom. KenPom's got them ranked 3rd in defensive efficiency, number 23 in offensive efficiency. The last 4 head-to-heads with Auburn, the Vols are 3-1 straight up, 2-2 ATS. Last year at home, they beat Auburn 92-84 as a 6.5-point favorite, so they covered. It went over 151 and a half. The unders on a 5-2 run for the Vols to improve to 12-7 overall. They have been an underdog twice this year, 1-1 both straight up and ATS. They won 77-55 at Louisville as a 2.5-point dog, and they got absolutely shellacked in Gainesville, 73-43 as a 3-point dog. They're off a 68-56 home win over Mississippi State that wasn't really that close. I had the Vols in that game. All right, Auburn, number 2 in KenPom, number 1 in the nation in offensive efficiency at KenPom, and number 19th in defensive efficiency. By the way, this is 8:30 p.m. Eastern start. Auburn 17-1 straight up, 11-7 against the spread. The over 10-8 overall, but the unders on a 4-2 run. Auburn 8-0 straight up at home this year, 6-2 against the spread. The lone single-digit home chalk spot was -7.5 to Mississippi State. They won by 22, 88-66 without Broom. And how about this right here? Auburn's won all 8 home games by 16 or more. And going back to last year, Auburn at home, 15-1 in their last 16. They lose at home to Kentucky, but all 15 wins by 11 or more. All 15 wins by double-digit margins. Since they lost at Duke, their only loss of the year, they have won 10 in a row, 7 of the wins by 16 or more. Now, the last 4 when the Vols have played at Auburn, Auburn's won all 4. In 23, 79-70. In 21, 77-72. In 20, 73-66. And in 19, 84-80. And they didn't play at Auburn in 18. The Vols have tasted victory on the Plains not since 2017. Okay, I made it Auburn 4.5, but suspected it would be more. What do you think?
Oh, I agree that it'll be more. And I probably agree or think that it's going to be the number that the sites in Vegas put out is going to be more than what KenPom has, in my opinion, which makes me real hesitant to want to play this game because Tennessee's big. And it's going to be – this is how crazy the environment is for anybody who's followed Auburn basketball. I was in school there when the only time they would sell out is if Shaq came or if Kentucky came. And now you have to pay $268 to buy a ticket in which you don't have a seat Saturday night.
How many standing room onlys do they sell?
They sell several thousand, but there ain't a whole lot left. I mean, you go to places like the online to get a chair, and it's up there in the nosebleeds now. They're $327 a piece.
That's insane.
It is insane. It's Auburn bleeping basketball, for God's sake.
How much money have they cost themselves by not making that arena more like 13 or 14?
No, I think it's the complete opposite.
Oh, they make more because the prices are
supply and demand.
Gotcha.
It'd be like, in no way, shape, or form am I comparing the pedigree, but Cameron sells out. I took the kids, my wife and I took the kids to Auburn, Monmouth.
Sold
out. Monmouth was sold out. Auburn, Monmouth.
Were the students even back? It was December 30th.
No, the students were gone. The students sold their tickets. Everybody who couldn't get a ticket to the regular games sucked them up. People did and traveled. I mean,
that's wild.
I can make a hard argument with the exception of Kirby Smart. Bruce Pearl's the most beloved coach in all of college sports, or in major college sports.
For the Auburn faithful, yeah. I
mean, that's what I'm talking about. In his fan base.
Sure.
Among his fan base, with Saban gone, maybe if you found a diehard South Carolina women's basketball fan, she'd say Dawn Staley.
Right.
But across the SEC, I know Tennessee baseball loves us some Tony V, but what Bruce Pearl has created down there with College Game Day there, and it's going to cost $268 to stand in the last row behind 3 other people to watch a game, to watch Auburn play basketball is mind-boggling to me. As for the game itself, Tennessee's so big inside.
It's going to be a game you miss Broom bad.
Bad. I mean, bad. And, I mean, Mississippi State, even though they got bludgeoned because Auburn came out hot and turned the home court into a 3-point shooting fiesta, it was, I mean, it got away from Mississippi State pretty quick. But Newell had some success. Mississippi State had success inside. Tennessee, man, and they got a point guard who's seen everything. So he's not going to turn it over and give up easy buckets like South Carolina did and like Mississippi State did. And in some ways, the way Georgia got sloppy early with the basketball. Zakai Ziegler is a huge key. I lean Tennessee here, but I would rather bet on the Miami Hurricanes than bet against Auburn at home.
Okay, just to give you an idea, when Tennessee beat Auburn 92-84 last year at Thompson Bowling, Broom played 33 minutes. He had 23 points. He was 7-11 from 2, 2 of 5 from 3. So what's that? 9 of 16 from the field. He only made 3 of 7 free throws, but he had 9 rebounds. He had 5 assists. He had 2 steals. He had 1 block. Now, Ziegler played 38 minutes. He had 17 points. He hit all 3 of his threes, but 0 of 6 from 2, which is odd. 3 of 9 from the field, 8 of 12 free throws, 9 assists. He did have 5 turnovers, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal. So, yeah, Broom had a big game, a really good game. And now, granted, it was on the road, and Tennessee's almost as nasty at home as Auburn is. But yeah, like that stat of their last 15 home wins have all been by 11 or more is just wild. Okay, so I never gave the Ken Palm line, did I?
No.
Okay. Auburn -8, winning 76-68. By my math, that's a total of 144 points. I would lean.
The total will be higher than that. So,
right.
But if you're absolutely jonesing for a play because you know you're going to watch this really good basketball game, I would be real tempted to lean hard to the under.
Okay. And Auburn's had game. I mean, they just played 138 with Georgia, but it was 154 Mississippi State. But they had a grinder with South Carolina. That one was 129, but it was up and down with Texas, 169.
Well, Texas was with Broom on the floor. So every time something broke hinky, they could shuttle it into the big man who a lot of people don't really know that not only was he the leading scorer and rebounder, he led Auburn in assists.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize he leads them in assists. Yeah, so they've had 2 grinder games in the 3 without Broom. Oh, that's counting the one with Broom at South Carolina, or he was there a little over half the way. Yeah, I would lean Tennessee, but I'm not going to bet the Vols, or I'm not going to bet against Auburn at home, unless it's like 10-ish. If it's 10, I would be awfully tempted to go Tennessee, but it wouldn't be a big play. I mean, obviously, I'm giving out these Auburn stats, 15 wins by 11 or more. There's no reason.
Honestly, If that number gets to 10, you've got me on Tennessee on the money line, because then you're talking about what, like plus 300?
350, more,
Yeah.
maybe a little more generous than that. Yeah.
I
Maybe
mean, then I'm talking about, okay, because if Auburn gets to a place, it's not going to be an 8 to 12 point game late. It's either going to be Auburn by 17, and next thing you know, the place is going nuts, and they're checking in the 4 white guys at the end of the bench to maybe one of them gets to jack a 3, and or it's going to be a dogfight down to the wire. And with that kind of return, I'm kind of talking myself into, if it gets up to 8, 9, or 10, a Tennessee money line play.
All right. So there you have it. I'm kind of a fence sitter on this one, unless Tennessee gets to 10, and then it would be a small play. All right.